in Mesa, Arizona, and finally going to tour the Superstition Mountain Lost Dutchman Museum. I'm right outside the museum, and I'm going to pan around so you can see the location. We're off of Highway 88 in the Mesa, Arizona area, and I'm going to just pan around. And there's an old church here, and some other buildings, a stagecoach, a stable. So we're inside the store, just outside the museum entrance, and we walked in through those doors, and they have lots of books and information on the area in here, events and tours and things, and these beautiful gourd masks up here, and more books and more what would you say? Souvenirs, yes, souvenirs. And if you need to reach them and you want to order from them directly, I'm going to put this right up in front of you. It's superstitionmountainmuseum.org, and here's some information regarding the Apache Trail. So it's a very historic highway, the Apache Trail, and you can gain some insight into that as well here at this little museum. This is a ballot box, tortilla flats ballot box. I can't explain all of it to you, but this is Apacheland here, which was a movie ranch called Apacheland. And that was in the area here, and I think they had a fire back in 2004. But you can see a replica of it here. Here's a loom. It shows how the Navajos make their rugs. And kachina dolls, ceremonial dancing dolls, which are part of the Native American tradition as well. There's a large one on top. Hacksaw Tom exhibit. Oh, that doesn't sound good. Between the years of 1905 and 1915, a man was reportedly robbing wagons and stagecoaches of the Apache Trail. He was nicknamed Hacksaw Tom by the drivers that he held up, and you can find more information about him here as well. Here's a cook stove from the quarter circle of the U Ranch, and a lot of other artifacts there. Some of the newspapers of the area, and the printing machine, and the not sure what they call these, I can't remember. They're wooden blocks though, for printing the newspapers. And here's a map of the Goldfield mining district. And here we go. Here's the cashier. So definitely come here. Arizona has a lot to see, and this is in the Apache Junction area. And again, we're at the museum at Superstition Mountains. That's it. Thanks a lot. We're going to head out of here and go check out a few other sites, and you're welcome to continue to watch. At the church here at Apacheland, just outside the museum, and check out the old church here. Okay, so this is the chapel. Believe it or not, there's a connection here. This is the chapel that Elvis was married in the movie Charles, right? And there's some Elvis statues over there. But I was, as you know, over in Graceland last week, and so it was a nice little connection. And here I am in Apacheland, and believe it or not, look there, there's some Elvis replicas there. And up here, believe it or not, there's Elvis. Elvis in Apacheland. Come all the way to Arizona and see Elvis again. See, he permeates the culture. There you go. We're inside the chapel. Okay, my camera operator on this part of the journey is Fran Irvin, and some of the movies that were made here include Partners with Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin, Three Violent People with Charlton Heston, and Gunfighter at the OK Corral with Burt Lancaster and Kirk Douglas, and a host of other well-known actors. Several other films were made at this location between 1955 and 1965. And the windmill was also donated to them by R.D. Adams of Woodward, Oklahoma. There's a lot more information. You need to come here yourself, and remember to get here and to get hotels and car rentals if you need it. You got to book on themaverickexperience.com. It's hot out here, and I even hate to guess how hot it is today, but it's still relatively early in the day, so it's probably only about 100, maybe 102. I'm going to show you the Wells Fargo stagecoach stop, and then we're going to go back and take a look at a couple other things here. There's a barber shop here. So I will just show it to you and explain it to you as we go. Remember, this is just outside the church, but that's behind me right now. Okay, we're going to come up to this small building here. Again, remember, this was used for movie sets. And inside here, you've got the telegraph. And of course you've got dominoes, and you've got a checkerboard here, and looks like a dentist chair here, and there's even a military sterilizer right inside, right there. So there's the bottles, cabinets, and again a very old dental chair. And there's a little potbelly stove for heating probably coffee, tea, and keeping the place warm. We're going to go next door now to the next building, which is attached. And here we have the ticket agent. And this is where you would pay for your ticket for the stagecoach. And there's their safe. And again, it's Wells Fargo. Again, another little potbelly stove to keep the place warm. And remember, this is a movie set, so it's not logistically correct, probably. But it was definitely good for the use in the movies. And we're going to go back and take a look at the barn, and there's also a blacksmith shop here and some old farm equipment, as you can see, and the fake horses and stagecoach right over there. The sheriff here and the jail cell. We're going to walk inside, and let's see if Sneaky Pete is in his cell. Whoop! It looks like he's escaped again. That's why they call him Sneaky Pete. Alright, you're going to see that this is a very small one cell, one little room with a desk and chair, and a place for a gun rack with some shackles and the keys. And watch out for George Johnson. It looks like they're still looking for him. $25,000 reward. We've also got Clay Wurst, who's also wanted dead or alive. So keep an eye out for those people. If you see them, call them over here at Apache. What you see out here and some of the places we've been, it's very rustic, and it's very much part of the Midwest or the West history. And it's good to see this. That's why you have to take driving trips sometimes around the country, so that you can find these small, out-of-the-way locations, and then find hotels nearby, and then come on day trips. Here we are inside the stable, and there's a photo studio here. It's not open at the moment, but you can see inside the photo studio there's gowns, there's feather boas, and many other items that you can use to get your photo taken. It's locked at the moment. And here's some memorabilia. Apacheland fire. They did have a fire here in 2004. These are some of the things that survived the fire. Unfortunately, I think a lot of things were destroyed during that fire. Inside here, you have some old buggies. 1870s runabout buggy here. And this next one is the doctor's buggy, as used by Doc Adams in Gunsmoke, donated by Hank Thorne. So it's again, not all authentic, but it's definitely authentic film land. Okay, stage stop here, the Hudley stage line, and there's the sign, Apacheland Movie Ranch. And we're going to spin around and see the other side of the barn. We're going to see some photos and some paintings, renderings on the walls of actors and what the place may have looked like when they were filming out here, as well as some of the people's footprints and handprints here down below on the looks like concrete blocks that were cast. Here's an old wagon, a covered wagon, and then there's some covered wagons here, different versions of the covered wagon. And more information on Apacheland and some of the actors and actresses that have filmed here over the years. And again, you can see down below the concrete castings. So probably an amazing group of people. Jerry Van Dyke, who I actually worked with, Jerry Van Dyke, has been here and filmed here. So we're gonna take a look at some other photos, and then we'll be out of here on to the next. That's Clint Walker there, and Corny Calvé. I can't even pronounce her name. Sean Garrison, and there you go. The rodeo trailer, Nudie. And that's Elvis Presley there in that photo. Walking into a replica of the saloon, a very tiny saloon that is, not very well lit, very rustic inside here. Knob Creek. And who's that filming right over there? Geez, the cameraman is me, Robert Maverick, your host and owner and of the franchise, themaverickexperience.com. Alright, we're just going to go ahead and through this little saloon. Down here is an old New England piano and some old washers, ring washers. The bunkhouse is coming up, and on this wall you'll see a host of actors and actresses that have all, including some dogs, that have all filmed here. And Ronald Reagan is up here on this wall, right next to John Wayne, right there. And if you go down further, you're going to find Burt Lancaster, and just keep going down, James Stewart, and the list is endless, the people that actually filmed here, it looks like. And this is probably just a small amount of actors and actresses that were here. And Clint Eastwood, right over here, one of the people that filmed here at this ranch as well. And right above him is Kirk Douglas. So, amazing, and we've got Glenn Ford in here too, right there, Glenn Ford. And an amazing list of people that have filmed here at Apacheland. I'm going to go up inside and look inside here, the bunkhouse. Now what I want you to know is there's an old saying about using an outhouse, and cowboys had to learn sometimes the hard way. But this is an outhouse, and what it says is never squat with your spurs on. Now you may understand this and you may not, but I'll tell you this, if you're wearing boots with spurs and you squat down to use the outhouse, you'll learn real quick what they mean. Alright, what you're looking at there is an incline skip car, and all of these cars right here are for mining or transport pack saddles, and they were made from old conveyor belts. But that's what you're looking at, is some of the old mining cars that would have been used at the time they were mining here back in probably the 1800s. And what this is called a 20 stamp ore crusher, made in 1860, and it was restored sometime later. But this thing is huge. 28 days and 5,000 mile round trips were required to disassemble and move the stamp mill from the ghost town of Bland, New Mexico, to to Apache Junction. And I know that because it says right on it. But this is huge. And this is how they were able to crush the ore. Is this big machine here. And what you're seeing here is a smelter oven for gold and for silver. And this is exactly how they melted it down in one of these smelter ovens. Well, there's not as much as you would hope to see here. The museum is nice, but they did have that fire, so they probably lost a lot of the structures from Apacheland movie ranch back in 2004, I believe it was. You can check online what happened. But at least there's a few artifacts still here and some history. So come on by, check it out. We're off to a ghost town there. Coming back, just so you know, to Goldfield, established in 1893. There it is, and we're going to do a little filming here, hopefully inside, and maybe go inside the mine, and maybe it's cool there. So we're going to head forward. So we're inside the Mercantile, and in here you can find lots of souvenirs here at the ghost town. T-shirts, hats, wind chimes, and lots of Southwest trinkets and baubles. Okay, we're inside the Mother Lode, right?
Mother Lode Mercantile.
The Mother Lode Mercantile. And right here, this young lady who's helping me out is Becky. And they're the only ones that she knows of in the country that actually make prickly pear fudge. And down here, they make all the fudge themselves here. Is that right, Becky?
Yes, it is. Right here in our kettle here.
Wow.
We use real cream and butter in our fudge.
Mm-hmm. And it's made right here. So when you come here to the Goldfield,
Goldfield
Ghost Town, you're going to find this wonderful little store, and you're going to come in here, you're going to ask for Becky. And she's going to help you find one of your favorite flavors of fudge that they have here. Now, my favorite, I liked the Heath bar, but I found something that reminds me of my childhood only about 5, maybe 10 years ago. And she knows I'm lying, but that's my story. I'm sticking to it. I like the creamsicle. It reminds me of the push-up pops from when I was a kid. So when I come back after the mining tour, Becky, right here, she's going to help me get a slab of that to take home to California. And I'm sorry you guys aren't around and with me, but guess what? I'm going to eat it all myself.
What a guy.
Woo, it's hot out here today. We're at the Miner's Grill. We're going to get some ice cream, and then we're going to head over to the mine, and we're going to go take that mining tour. I had some ice cream here at the Goldfield Ghost Town. Ye old ice cream. I didn't know they had ice cream back then, but I don't think they really did. It was very good, and now I'm waiting, and while I'm waiting for the mining tour to start, because we're going to go down in the mine. It goes about 20 feet deep. I don't know if I'm going to make it all the way down there. It's about a 25-minute tour, and I'll just film some of the town while I'm waiting. This is actually an authentic old mining town, and I'm sure a lot of stuff has been reconstructed, but there is a lot of buildings here that probably at least some of them are the actual buildings, or a portion of them are the actual buildings that were here at the time the town was hustling and bustling during the gold rush out here. And hopefully after the mining trip we'll get a chance to go into the church at the end of the street. Into the mine. Heading down into the gold mine, an actual gold mine. It used to be a working gold mine. Woo! Nice and dark in here. This is the elevator. Okay. Feels like it's in good shape, right?
Going down. Next set. There's like one miner hanging on out there.
But we're worse.
Before you hit the ground, you'll get it. The first thing the 9 guys do when they got down here, dig out the first tunnel and set up their machine shop for all their tools. They do what they call stope mining, so they drop a hole and they dig horizontally until they find the ore, and they mine upward vertically, letting gravity do some of the work for them. Use a sheet like this right here, sort the rock and the ore and the gold. And the ore and the gold come out of this sheet, go into an ore cart that was on a track that was rolling out of here. It turns. Do about 12 hours a day. So we figured out to have one arm like an orangutan. Probably didn't hear so good. The ore is rock, it's gold, it's found in. It's common form of ore in mammoth mines, red quartz. Mammoth mine average 1 ounce of gold per ton of ore, and around a lot of rock for an ounce of gold. So for its height period, 1896 to 1897, we're getting 13 and 14 ounces of gold per ton. And this thing we're actually full of a ton of gold 115 years ago. We're worth about 6. We make 21 holes, 6 feet deep, with a 6 by 6 foot blast. Regular Arizona rock like this, which is very light, we take about 2 sticks of dynamite. The mammoth mines on a fault line. Whenever you're digging on a fault line, there's a lot of granite. And they're blasting in granite, you can get up to 5 sticks per hole. It's taking a stick of dynamite, put it in a nitroglycerin cap, then another stick of dynamite. Notice they use wood, they use nitroglycerin, they don't have to call the spark, blow themselves up. Once they figured out the hardware, number one, household use. Most of the mines here in Goldfield were wet mines. We call them wet mines because they're continually dripping water down the walls, they keep the dust down inside the mine. Plus they're mining for metals, and the water to pan for metals. This is actually one of the first towns in the west that had running water. They had a water tower that's set up on top of the hill, and they filled it full of water and it flowed down throughout the town. This area also became the capital of Arizona territories. This sits on the area's second largest underground water aquifer. It's called the Cocamina. It's from New Mexico all the way down from the mine. Everybody can climb on top of here and do their business. Take it up to the surface and clean it all out. Has a little valve to drain the stuff out of there, but once in a while there's something left floating around in there. So take a scooper dipper thing, or break it in half, or scoop it out of there.
So this is where the term on movie sets, the trailer that hauls the toilets, is called the honey wagon. So maybe that's where the term comes from this. We are really getting an experience here because this was a working mine. Okay, that's it. It wasn't that long of a tour. It wasn't even that scary. And got to learn a little bit about mining. It's very dark down there, so I don't know how much of it you're going to get to see. We're going to hunt up my posse and then head on out of here after we go check out the church. Here we are. Here's the Goldfield Town Church. And obviously restored to probably what it looked like at one time. Maybe even restored better than what it was. Here's the old wagon wheel lights up there, along with some actual ceiling fans, which are definitely not authentic, but it looks like this is a functioning church as well, since this was also a functioning town. And there's our view from the inside of the church down through the town. As we were learning in the mine, we found out that they actually had running water in this town. It was pumped up to the top of the hill and then ran down through the streets of the town, and was very one of the first cities in the country to have indoor plumbing. And there's the Superstition Mountains right there. What's this store called? This is the Museum of Historical?
Yes, Historical Society Goldfield.
Okay. We're in the front entrance of the Historical Society Goldfield Museum. I'm going to go inside the museum in a minute. This is the gift store. This is our lovely hostess here. What's your name?
Terry.
Terry.
Hi,
And I'm going to have to buy, and it only costs $3. Yeah, I hurt my finger earlier today. It only costs $3 to go inside the museum, so we're going to go inside the museum in a minute, and you all get to see the museum and historical information inside the museum. But there's a lot of information about Superstition Mountains and Apache Trail right here in the front of the museum in the store. And you might find this very interesting because Homeland Security has been around longer than you think. There you go. That's the real Homeland Security. That works for me. We're inside the museum now, and these are bones that have been discovered in the area from long ago. Dinosaur leg bone right here, 160 million years old. To me, that says evolution. Yeah, that's what that says. And there's Petoskey stone. There's some what is that? Fossilized coral, because this used to be underwater. And then we have selenite here, agate there, meteorite. Right there is meteorite. So you don't have to go to the moon to get that stuff. But there's so much, so we're just going to buzz through the museum. This is a lot of fossils and stone, a lot of things here that were found in this area as they were mining and digging and building the towns. So if you love this kind of history, you'll find it here. Okay, this glass case here is the Hokokum and Salado and Anasazi, the ancient farmers and hunters and gatherers that flourished in the Southwest until there was a climate change, and then that devastated their culture. So these are some of the things that were in their culture, like this here, the grinding stone. Some of these things are, of course, present and just replicas, but they did find a lot of arrowheads, some pottery, and other things that pertain to the Indians that were native to this area. Here's some antiques, an old telegraph station, bottles, pictures of people of the area, and photo albums, and a replica of the saloon, and an old washing machine. Huge bellows, very huge bellows. I'm not going to do everything, but we are going to, I don't want to make you dizzy. Go through here. Here we go. An old phonograph player. Scales for weighing gold. Here you go, 1851. Map of the southwestern Mexico. The vast area of the Spanish and Mexican influence and the migration of the Peralta family. Treasure maps that were drawn, trying to locate treasures. Metal seeking detector, some of the shovels and a sledgehammer, some of the tools used, and this tool, of course, Crazy Jake whiskey from Kentucky. And here we hear Lost Dutchman Hunter Hall of Fame. And you'd have to look at these yourself. I'm not going to read all of them, but there's a lot of people on that wall. And again, tools of the trade, as well as some parlor pistols, pipes. And these are certified authentic grave markers or maps. These tablets certified the foundation of the advancement of the earth sciences. These are replicas. Okay, back here you have more antiques from the Peralta family, a collection of some of their paintings and personal items. There's a lot of museums like this across the country, of course, but there's only one Goldfield. All of these things, because this was a working town, have been found in this area during excavation and also exploration of the area. And it's probably one of the most well-preserved gold towns in the country. This is the 1886 Brunswick Bar, and it gives you a little bit more information there. You can maybe look it online. Buffalo robe, worn by Robert Redford in the movie Jeremiah Johnson. Right there. On the counter. Doc Holliday's dress coat. Very small. I wouldn't think it was that small. Giving me a private tour of the vault here, and inside the vault they're working on filling it up. You can see there's some stones, some large stones, and some of the rifles of the era.
Yeah, the geodes will be in here.
Yeah, the geodes.
Fool's gold.
Fool's gold? Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
and lots more if we ever get it done.
Well, I guess it just takes more donations, right?
Yeah, and about 10 degrees cooler.
10 degrees cooler. Okay.
Nobody wants to work in here, it's too hot.
You can hear it. Nobody wants to work in here. It's too hot right now. But also, come here and pay the $3 and help them continue to restore and take care of all of these artifacts. Isn't that right, Terry?
That's wonderful.
There you go. Yeah. And keep in mind, there's hotels all over Mesa, so you can go to themaverickexperience.com and you can get your hotel.
Here above the mercantile.
What?
There's rooms you can rent above the mercantile.
Wow, right above the mercantile, you can rent rooms here, right in the Goldfield.
Right next to the snake guy.
Wow. Thank you, Terry. Okay, that's it. We're heading out of here, and I'm heading down into Phoenix next, and hopefully a couple more adventures with my friend Levi over there. See you in a little while.
I'm on this up for the dance. A white sport coat and a fake carnation. I'm all dressed up for romance. What you told me